So welcome back. So what I want to look at this week is the suspension travel on the car. Now, the problem with being able to do that with currently what the wheels that are on it are that the wheels hit the body kit when it levels out. What I want to know is the true lowness of the vehicle. So I want to see how low the vehicle can go if the wheels aren't hitting onto the body kit, and then we can trim the body kit in and around the wheels. So potentially what we're going to look to do is changing the wheels out at some point anyway. But today what we're looking to do is I want to get these wheels off, get some standard 17s on, and then once those are on, I want to make some pedestals underneath the wheels so the car's in the air, and then we can lower the suspension on the car, and then we can take a measurement of how, does the body kit in fact go below essentially what would be ground level. If so, that then, especially for the front bumper, that might give us a measurement of potentially what we can take out of the front bumper to enable us to still have it sit low to the ground when the vehicle is hydrated out, or whether or not we change the air suspension and still retain but be able to get some better lift in the meantime. So what we'll do now is we'll whip the wheels off, whip the spacers off, get some standard wheels put back on it, and then start making some pedestals. So if you've seen the car in the flesh before, most people have seen the wheel spacers that are on the car. The fronts aren't too bad, but the rears are something that are quite something to behold. So we've got one wheel off. And now for the spacer. There's quite a considerable spacer. Let's have a quick look. So the spacer on the front is 45 millimeters. We will grab a standard wheel. And then we have one standard wheel back on the car. Right, so that's one wheel done. So we'll repeat the process 3 more times and see where we get to from there. And the rear spacer is 95 mil. So what we want to do now is to make some pedestals to go under the wheels. So put the hand on the back of the wheel. If we go 10 inches wide, 17 inches long, 17, 18 inches long, actually gives enough clearance for the wheels to sit on. So we're going to be making our stands out of CLS, so I'm going to be cutting 2 lengths, so 10 inches and 17 inches. I'll cut a few of these off now, and then we will start assembling the first pedestal. Okay, so how these work. So we've got two lengths that are going to sit here and here. And then you essentially just stack them on alternatives. And so we're at that point. And we now have a wheel stand. So I'll screw that together now, make 3 more, and then we'll be able to set the car onto these. Now these are a bit small. You would normally do a bit wider. However, the biggest one for us now is to make sure that we clear all of the bits of kit, so we can now drop these. So essentially, drop these onto here, and then we can lower the kit, and then we can see what happens with wheels, with tuck. Does it hit the kit, and how far the car actually drops to? So I'll quickly drop some of these up, and we will go from there. Okay, so now you've got all your pieces cut. All you literally want to do, and you don't have to be overly accurate, just make sure they're nice and straight here. Grab yourself a couple of screws. Pop a couple of screws in on each one as you go. Okay, so the stands are in place. Next step is now to drop the car down onto them. So I'll release the safety locks on the ramp, on the quick lift, and see if we can drop it down onto the pedestals. So being that the quick jacks aren't a vertical drop, they slope forward, just meant I had to tap the pedestals forward as I went. Apart from that, it's now on the pedestals on some original wheels. And we should be in a position now where we can drop the hydraulics and actually see how far negative into the ground the actual suspension travel will go. Right, so it's the moment of truth. Let's see how far it actually drops. We'll do a little bit of a walk around. So this is the problem. So as you can see, the wheel is quite considerably tucked and in the air, with the body kit massively lower than the actual car itself. And again on the rear, right down there, and then the body kit is a considerable amount lower than the wheel. So for anyone that says it's just the body kit and the car is not that low, well actually the car is quite low, it's just a massive body kit as well as. So I'm going to leave it here for this week, but essentially what I'm going to be spending the next couple of days doing is making some measurements and seeing, and ultimately looking at the fitment of wheels, how we can get the biggest wheel in there possible while still getting that clearance, but reducing the kit and finding some of that lift back. I think there's going to be no option but to cut the kit down. I'm hoping we can get away with just trimming some out the front bumper, because actually the side skirts and the rear bumper is the highest bumper on the car, but the side skirts do have a small amount of lift, but it's the front bumper that causes a lot of the problems. So this gives us a good starting point to make some measurements and then actually see some changes starting to happen. But that's going to be it for this week until I can plan some more measurements and work out what the next steps are going to be. Thanks.